What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Thank you for stopping in. Today we're taking a look at something that you should never leave your house without. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I'd love to have you here. And before you head out, do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate it, everyone. It really helps push the video out there so more people have a chance to check it out. And feel free to let me know what you're carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. Love hearing from you guys. So this is coming in from one of my recent favorite companies. They have kind of taken over as my favorite, or one of my favorite flashlight companies, and this is coming in from Nitecore. Huge shout out to them for sending this in. I've become a massive fan of Nitecore. So what we're taking a look at is their Generation 2 NB10000. This is their ultra lightweight energy brick, and what that means is this is an external battery here. And nice packaging from Nitecore as always. So this is a Generation 2, and they do have some larger sizes as well. I'll link Nitecore's website down below. I'll link the batteries down below. It's just so you can go over there and check stuff out. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. They send some paperwork for the battery bank and a USB-C to charge it up and or use on your devices. Now, anyone who follows either one of my channels is going to know that I'm a huge fan of battery banks. I don't ever leave my house without at least one. I always have at least one battery bank with me, and for a multitude of reasons do I keep one with me. Now this has gone through some refinements as it is a Generation 2. It's nice and sleek. It's very minimal. I'm a huge fan of Anker's external battery like this, and those are definitely quite a bit thicker. Might be about as long. I'm trying to see if I have one out here handy. I think I do actually, so we can bring it out and compare. And then we have a battery indicator there with 4 different bars. We have our charging port and then our output port, which is going to be USB-C. Kind of has this faux carbon fiber look to it. Looks really good. And you can tell this is made very well. And that's the problem with, if you go to Amazon, and if you're not looking at a specific company like Anker or like Nitecore, if you're just looking at some random battery bank, right, they're going to promise certain things that I don't think they can fulfill. And even if they do fulfill them, the battery bank is garbage within a month or 2 or 3, right? I've had some from a plethora of different companies, and they don't last. They just don't last. They might work very well for a few weeks, few months, and then ultimately they quit charging, or they just quit working for whatever unknown reason, or the charging port to charge it caves in and you can't use it anymore. They're just not made very well. And that's why I like going with spending the extra couple bucks. You know, they have a lot of two for deals on Amazon and this and that, but you might as well just get one solid one that's going to be a true 10,000 milliamps, that's going to be well made, and that's going to last for an extended period. Are they going to last indefinitely? No, of course not, especially with wear and tear. But something like this is going to garner you a lot more lifetime than just a generic, under the table kind of company that just willy-nilly puts them out. There's no detail, included in the battery banks. They just kind of glue stuff together and put it out there. These are going to go through a lot more strenuous quality control checks and stuff like that. Now, the reason I love these battery banks is for one main reason: you can recharge your flashlight from them. So here we have the Nitecore EDC25, and this is the flashlight that really brought me around on Nitecore. Very, very well done. Very lightweight. It's a little bit longer, but it's very lightweight, very easy to keep in the hand. They put some different texturing on this. Now, I do have a full unboxing of this up on the channel. I'll try to remember to link a card if you didn't see it yet. But this thing has just a ton of capabilities. You have a battery indicator. You have an output indicator. So depending on, you know, which mode you're using, it will let you know, hey, you're on this one, you're on that one. That's turbo there. And then they have a USB-C charging port here. Now, that's one of the main things about keeping a battery bank like this with you. You have the ability to, if you have a rechargeable flashlight, you can, you know, of course, having the cord with you is going to be paramount. The battery bank should not go anywhere that the cord doesn't. So, like for me, for example, in my sling bag, I always have at least 2 USB-C cords. That way, I have it. You know, I without a doubt have one, and then I always have one in my truck as well. So technically, when I leave my house, I have at least 3 cables that are going to be handy to me, and a battery bank is going to be, you have to have one these days in order to keep your phone up and running, to keep your flashlight up and running. And now there's just a multitude of different things that are being ran off USB-C. There's a multitude of things that are being made into rechargeable items. And for example, I bring this out a lot, an arc lighter. You know, if you use something like this, you have the ability to top this off, top your flashlight off, top your phone off. And with Nitecore, and this being a 10,000 milliamp hour battery, you're going to get a legitimate 10,000 milliamp hours out of this battery. At least I'm guessing that, right? I am, you know, giving them the benefit of the doubt. I believe that that is going to be 10,000 milliamp hours. But if I buy some no-name brand, knockoff brand from Amazon, don't count on that being 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 milliamp hours. And like I said, even if it is, it's going to be garbage. So I said I wanted to bring out Anker's 10,000 milliamp hour battery. Now, I'm a huge fan of Anker when it comes to external batteries, charging cables, stuff like that. But if this Nitecore holds up and does its thing, I may end up ultimately switching to Nitecore. I mean, look at the size difference here. We're talking at least an inch shorter, if not a little bit more. We're talking about an inch. We're talking, well, no, actually, it's going to be a little bit more than that. We're talking about an inch and an eighth or something like that. So that's a big difference right there. And then we're also talking about, just look at the pure size difference. Now, these ultimately are not that big. I mean, for a battery bank. But this is nice and minimal. I did not realize how minimal this was compared to the Anker. So like I said, if this does its thing and works well, I will probably ultimately be switching. Now, once every 3 months or 6 months or so, I buy an Anker battery. I have like 4 of these because they work. The very first one I bought over a year and a half ago is still going strong, is still basically doing the same exact thing it did when I got it out of the box. It's, you know, very unnoticeable if it's had any battery drain. You know, it's performing very well. So I heavily rely on Anker for external batteries. But if this thing does the job, I will ultimately probably be switching, at least getting a couple of these because of how minimal they are. I use these around my house all the time because you don't want to, you know, I run 2 different phones. I have a bunch of stuff that runs off rechargeables, batteries, like flashlights, cell phones, vapes, arc lighters, you know, you name it. There's a lot of stuff that runs on rechargeable. So having one of these, you know, for around the house is paramount for me as well. You know, I'm shooting this with one of my phones, and I typically will keep this hooked up, hook one of these up and be running it to my phone and to my microphone to keep that power up. And like I said, even if nothing else, I would have at least one or two. That way you have one for in the house and one to take with you whenever you leave your house. It's just, it's being smart, in my opinion, because of the abilities that these have and how much power, you know, say your phone is getting down there under 50%. This has the ability to basically charge that all the way up, still have a little bit of power left over, or should, you know, be close to having some power left over, where you can top off another item like your flashlight here or whatever is paramount in the situation. Whether maybe you do have an arc lighter or something, you know, you could give a little bit to that. You can basically spread it around, you know, and in comparison to your phone's battery, you know, if you know how big your phone's battery is, you can kind of decipher, all right, if it's at this percentage, it's going to take this much of a full 10,000 milliamp hour battery. You know, if your phone's all the way dead and you charge it all the way up with one of these, there's not going to be a ton left over. There should be some, but not a ton. Now, one thing I'm pretty sure most companies will recommend is that when you get this out of the box, you immediately charge it all the way up, which is what we're going to do. Okay, so I was wondering what that fourth bar was for, and it must not be for anything. It must be maybe one of their bigger models, like the 20,000. I think they have a 20,000. Because you guys might not be able to see it now, but there's actually a fourth dot there, and that one is not lit up. And in the instructions here, it says that once it's at 3 bars, 3 constant on bars is approximately 100%. So when you check this and it has 3 full bars steadily, that means you have roughly 100%. So I'm not sure what that fourth indicator is for. It must be just, has 4 indicators. The 3 blue indicators can display the charging status and the power level, while the indicator can indicate the access of low current mode. Oh, okay. So that fourth section is going to let you know, it'll probably go red or white, I'm guessing, and let you know that the cord that you are using is not giving this the power that it should be. Like this cord definitely is going to do the job. This is a good anchor cord. So it's going to do the job and give this the power it needs to charge up and do it quickly. Now, I don't know the technology, you know, between the two. I know Anker has this IQ port, which is supposed to give you more power out of the battery quicker, basically, kind of like a boost almost. But there's a little bit of pause and read for you if you want to, you know, if you're interested in something like this. But, you know, whether it's from Nitecore or whoever it's from, I'll link these down below, like I said, guys. I think it is paramount to have a solid, dependable external battery like this, a battery bank, a battery backup, if you will, whatever you want to call it. I think you should have at least 2 of them that are dependable, that are well made, you know, something like one of these 2 that you can take with you when you leave. If you're a female, it's easy to just throw this in your purse and, you know, no big deal. For men, you know, have a sling bag, have a backpack with you that you take some necessary stuff with you when you leave your house. I just recently did a video on the sling bag that I take with me whenever I leave my house. That sling bag comes with me, even if I'm just going a few blocks away or anywhere. Whenever I leave, I take that bag with me just because it's got bare essential items in it. You know, just for just in case, right? Just an emergency, just in case. It's good to have supplies with you when you leave your house, because I'm sure everyone has found themselves in a situation or a scenario where they have something at home that they wish they had with them when they left, right? So if you can knock off things on that list, so to speak, that would be very helpful, very handy to you when you do leave your house, that you can keep with you, that isn't at home, because if it's at home, it's not doing you any good, right? So having something that's going to be nice, and I can say it's even lighter weight as well than the anchor. So if these hold true and do their thing, I will most likely be picking up another one of these as well, because that is just insane. I used to think these were slimmer and kind of small, because there's definitely bigger, thicker ones out there than this one. But this one is a massive difference in its total size and length and width and thickness, and even its, this one can basically sit in the center of the anchor. So that is awesome. I didn't realize how thin these were going to be and how much smaller. So that Generation 2 is a huge deal. But these two items right here, the battery bank and the flashlight here, make an awesome duo and gives you a ton of ability. If this is charged up all the way or most of the way, right, and you have this fully charged and with you, you're going to be able to top this off, no question about it. You'll be able to top off your phone and maybe another device as well. So definitely food for thought, definitely worth taking a look at these battery banks, especially these Nitecore ones. I mean, to get that much power in something that is, I don't know, what would you say? That's probably 20% smaller, all the way around, somewhere in that ballpark. It's a lot smaller, a lot thinner, a lot shorter, and a lot less width to it as well. You guys will have to let me know. Do you keep a battery bank with you whenever you leave your house, or do you have one at your house that you can start taking with you? Let me know. I love hearing from you guys. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I always appreciate that, everyone. If you're new here, we release videos just like this one on knives and EDC gear every single day. Hit that subscribe button, ring the little bell. I'd love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I'll throw up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.